Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something I learned early in life, and it changed everything. When you chase people, you foretell the world, I sup not enough without them. That's a dangerous mindset, my friend. Not just dangerous, destructive. You see, chasing people never comes from a place of strength. It comes from a place of lack. It's born out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of not being accepted, fear of not being seen, and fear is a poor foundation for any relationship. When you walk into a room with the attitude, I hope they like me, you've already given away your power. But when you walk in with the mindset, I know who I am and I like me, the whole game changes. Now you're in control. Now you are the one who attracts, because people are like magnets and so are you. But you can't attract anything if you're constantly chasing. Think about this. Have you ever seen a magnet chase metal? No. It simply holds its charge, and the metal comes to it. In the same way, you must hold your inner charge, your self-respect, your values, your standards. That's what draws the right people towards you. Now here's where people get it wrong. They think chasing others is a sign of commitment. No, it's not. It's a sign of uncertainty in yourself. And when you don't believe in your own value, you try to borrow someone else's. But here's the deal. If you have to convince someone to be in your life, you'll have to keep convincing them to stay. And that's exhausting. That's not a relationship. That's a performance. Stop performing. Stop proving. Stop chasing. Start building. Start growing. Start becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to chase anyone, because they're too busy chasing their vision. The irony is, when you stop chasing people, the right ones will show up and the wrong ones, they'll disappear. You don't need everyone, you just need the right ones. But they still never see your value if you don't still see it first. So the next time you feel like chasing someone, I want you to pause. Ask yourself, why am I giving someone the pen to write my worth? Take that pen back. Write your own story. You are enough. You've always been enough. You just need to act like it. And when you do, you won't stop chase people. You still attract them. And more importantly, you'll attract the right ones. Let me tell you something that may be hard to hear, but essential if you want to grow. Not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay. And some of the people you're chasing, they're not just wrong for you. They're dangerous for your spirit. Now, I don't mean dangerous in the way that they'll hurt you physically. No, I'm talking about something far worse. I'm talking about the people who drain your joy, who waste your time, who quietly chip away at your confidence. The people who smile in your presence but disappear when you need them most. You know who I'm talking about. The ones you constantly have to impress, the ones you text over and over just to get a half-hearted response, the ones who only come around when it benefits them. They don't show up because they care. They show up because they know you'll always be there. And here's the tragic part. Some of us confuse that cycle with love. We call it loyalty. We call it patience. But in reality, it's just a cycle of emotional depletion. You pour into them, hoping one day they'll finally see your worth, but they don't, and they won't. Not because you aren't valuable, but because they've never had the capacity to value anyone but themselves. You see, the wrong people will never leave you in peace. They will leave you in pieces, bit by bit, moment by moment, until you look in the mirror and barely recognize who you've become. Drained, numb, bitter, and all for someone who never had the intention to build anything real with you. So what do? You stop. You stop chasing. You stop entertaining the drama. You stop confusing potential with reality. Just because someone could be good for you doesn't mean they will be. And just because you feel something doesn't mean you should stay. Feelings are temporary, patterns are permanent. Watch how they treat you, not how they flatter you. Watch how consistent they are when you're not giving 100%. That's the truth. Your energy is gold. Your presence is a gift. And your peace, that sits non-negotiable. So if someone makes you feel like you're hard to love, like you're too much, or never enough, let them go. Don't chase them, because if you keep watering dead plants, don't be surprised when nothing grows. They still meet you with respect, not excuses, and you won't have to beg for what you naturally deserve. Protect your peace, because the wrong people won't just waste your time. They still destroy your spirit forever. Let me share something that may take you years to understand, but once you do, it sets you free. Rejection is not the end of your worth, it's the beginning of your redirection. Now I know, rejection hurts, it stings. You give your time, your energy, your trust, and then someone walks away, turns their back, or simply stops showing up. And you're left wondering, was it something I said? Something I did? You play the moment over and over in your mind, hoping to find the mistake. But here's the truth I had to learn in my own life. And believe me, it wasn't easy. Sometimes life removes people to protect you. It doesn't always give you a warning. It doesn't always send a memo. It just moves them out. Quietly, suddenly. And in the beginning, it feels like loss. But eventually, you'll look back and realize it was rescue. You see, too often we tie our value to the people who choose us. And when they don't, we feel like we're less, like we're lacking. But your worth is not measured by who walked away. It's measured by how you rise after they leave. Now here sits what most people don't realize. Rejection is feedback. Not about who you are, but about who you were never meant to become. It sets life saying, that person, that path, that situation, it sets not for you, it sets beneath you. You have outgrown it. But if you're still chasing people who've clearly shown you the door, you're trying to force yourself into places that no longer fit your future. And that's a trap that leads to frustration, to bitterness, to emotional fatigue. You need to understand, when someone leaves your life, it's not always a loss. Sometimes it's alignment. It's your future calling you to stop holding on to dead weight. Because while you're busy crying over who left, you could be missing who's waiting to enter, someone aligned with your values, your growth, your vision. You know, I've seen this too often. A person gets rejected, and they spiral. They give up. They doubt themselves. But what they don't realize is that rejection is not personal. It's positioning. Life is simply putting you where you're supposed to be, even if it doesn't feel good in the moment. So the next time someone walks away, don't chase them. Don't beg. Don't lower your standards just to be kept. Stand still. Let them go. And whisper to yourself, thank you for the lesson. Now I move forward. So trust the redirection, honor the rejection, and keep walking. Because every time life closes a door, it's not punishment. It starts preparation. And where you're headed next is so much greater than anything you just lost. Let me tell you something you need to hear, and I hope you don't forget it. It's true. You may not see it right away. You may think you're just trying harder, being loyal, being patient, but slowly, moment by moment, interaction by interaction, your self-worth starts to erode. And here's the thing, self-respect isn't something you lose all at once. No, it's taken from you in small compromises, in unanswered messages, in constantly forgiving the same disrespect, in giving without receiving, in shrinking yourself to be enough for someone who never had the capacity to value you in the first place. Let me be clear. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you continue to chase. And the more you chase, the more they pull away. Not because you're not worthy, but because you've told them they don't have to try. You've already made the effort for both of you. Now, I'm not saying don't love people. I'm not saying don't care. What I'm saying is, don't love at the cost of your dignity. Don't give so much that you lose sight of what you're worth. Because once self-respect is gone, everything else begins to fall apart. Your focus, your confidence, your purpose. And here's the painful truth. Some people can sense that you've forgotten your value, and they'll take advantage of it. Not because they're evil, but because they can. Because you've handed them the power. And let me tell you, my friend, once you start negotiating your worth, you'll spend the rest of your life trying to earn something that should have been honored from the beginning. So what do? You stop running after people who make you feel small. You stop justifying poor behavior. You stop explaining yourself to those who don't listen. Instead, you hold your ground. You say, I will not chase. I will not beg. I will not lower myself to be accepted by someone who doesn't see what I bring to the table. But when you throw away your standards just to keep someone around, you tell them your value is negotiable. And nothing about you should be up for negotiation. Not your worth, not your time, not your peace. You want to protect your energy? Walk away from what insults your soul. So choose you. Not from a place of ego, but from a place of wisdom. Because at the end of the day, no relationship is worth the cost of losing yourself. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to really think about it. How much energy have you wasted trying to get someone to like you? How many hours have you spent replaying a conversation, overanalyzing a text message, wondering why someone didn't respond, didn't call, didn't show up, didn't choose you? Now let me tell you what that is. That's stolen energy, stolen from your growth, stolen from your peace, stolen from your goals. You see, energy is like currency, and every time you invest it into people who don't value, you're making a bad investment. Would you hand over your hard-earned money to someone who never pays you back? No. So why are you giving your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy to people who don't even say thank you? Let me make this plain. Your energy is your responsibility. You have to protect it. You have to channel it. You have to be intentional with where it goes. And if you're spending more energy trying to win people over than you are building your dreams, you're not progressing, you're just exhausting yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Jim, I care about them. I just want to be seen. Of course you do. That's human. But let me give you a little wisdom. The people who are meant for you won't make you chase. They'll match your effort. They'll match your energy. Because real relationships, whether friendships, business, or love, are built on mutual respect, not one-sided pursuit. So the next time you find yourself overthinking, overgiving, overextending, ask yourself, is this growing me or is this draining me? Because anything that constantly drains you isn't love. It's a distraction, and distractions are expensive. They cost you time, clarity, creativity, momentum. You've got dreams to chase. You've got skills to develop. You've got a vision to fulfill. And you don't have the luxury to keep chasing people who are walking in circles. You were born to move forward, not run in emotional loops. What if you took all the energy you waste chasing people and redirected it toward your goals? What if you stopped trying to be chosen and started choosing yourself? Let me tell you what would happen. You stood grow. You stood focus. You stopped become magnetic. And the very people you used to chase, they'd start wondering what changed. But by then, you'll be too busy living your purpose to even notice. So don't spend your power proving yourself to people who already made up their mind. Spend it building a life that proves your worth without saying a word. Because when you chase growth instead of attention, you never lose. And that, my friend, is how you reclaim your energy and your future. Let me tell you something simple but powerful, and I hope you carry it with you for the rest of your life. You were not put on this earth to chase people. Now that's the truth. Most people don't want to admit. The more time you spend chasing people, the less time you spend building yourself. The more attention you give to who's walking away, the less attention you have for what really matters, your mindset, your mission, your goals. It's seen it over and over. People with potential, real, undeniable potential, get distracted by the noise. Let me ask you, when was the last time you got so focused on you that you didn't even notice who left? Because that's where the power is. Power is in focus. It starts in direction. It's in building something so valuable, so undeniable, that the right people are drawn to it and the wrong ones are naturally filtered out. You don't need to beg for love. You don't need to prove your worth. You need to build your vision so strong that the people who belong in your life will recognize it, and the ones who don't won't even bother trying to keep up. Here sits the beautiful part. The more you pour into yourself, the less you rely on others to pour into you. The more you grow your mind, your discipline, your craft, the more attractive you become. Not because you're chasing anyone, but because you're becoming someone worth chasing. You've got to understand this. When you stay focused on becoming better, stronger, wiser, you don't have time to entertain drama. You don't have time to wonder who likes you. You're not even looking back to see who left because your eyes are on the future. You were never meant to follow people around hoping they see your light. You were meant to become the light. And when you do, the right people will see it clearly, effortlessly. But they'll only see it if you stop dimming it to keep people around who should have been gone a long time ago. So from this moment forward, stop chasing people. Start chasing your purpose. Start chasing excellence. Start chasing that higher version of you, the one that doesn't beg, doesn't break, and doesn't base their worth on who stays or goes. Because the truth is, the ones who belong in your life won't need to be chased. They'll show up, stay consistent, and grow with you, not because you begged them to, but because your vision inspired them to. And that sips the kind of life worth living.